My beloved brothers and sisters, kindness is one of the most beautiful qualities a believer can have. But Islam never told you to use your kindness to destroy your own heart. Being merciful does not mean tolerating abuse. Being patient does not mean allowing yourself to be used. And forgiving others does not mean staying with people who repeatedly harm you and never change. The Prophet ﷺ was the most kind and gentle, yet he never allowed injustice to continue. He forgave, but he also set boundaries. He encouraged patience, but he never told anyone to accept oppression. Allah does not want your heart to break endlessly. He wants your kindness to elevate you, not weaken you. So be kind, but don't be blind. Islam teaches compassion with wisdom, mercy with dignity, and forgiveness without self-betrayal. Kindness is worship, but not at the cost of your dignity. Kindness is an act of worship, but worship is never meant to crush your soul. Islam teaches us to be gentle, merciful, and forgiving, but it never asks us to sacrifice our dignity to please people. When your kindness turns into a doorway for others to abuse you, it stops being worship and becomes self-destruction. Allah does not reward you for allowing others to break your heart endlessly. He rewards you when your kindness is guided by wisdom. Being kind does not mean letting people walk all over you. The Prophet ﷺ was the most compassionate man, yet no one ever exploited his mercy because his kindness was grounded in strength. He smiled, but he also set boundaries. He forgave, but he stood firmly for justice. This balance is what Islam teaches: kindness that uplifts, not kindness that weakens your worth. You are not obligated to remain silent while being disrespected. You are not rewarded for becoming a doormat. Allah honors a heart that is soft, but He never asks it to break for the sake of others. When your kindness is used against you, Islam encourages you to take a step back. Protecting your dignity is not arrogance. It is obedience to the one who created you with honor. Kindness without self-respect becomes a tool of oppression. There are people who take advantage of caring souls, using guilt, manipulation, and emotional pressure to control them. Islam does not want you to tolerate injustice under the excuse of being nice. The Quran condemns oppression, whether you are the one committing it or the one allowing it to continue unchecked. Kindness is beautiful only when it is paired with wisdom. If someone constantly hurts you, lies to you, breaks your trust, and never repents, your kindness will not change them. It only destroys you. Islam never told you to be naive. The Prophet ﷺ said, a believer is not stung from the same hole twice, meaning learn from the harm, not repeat it in the name of patience. Kindness is not about proving your worth to people who can't see your value. You don't need to overgive, over-apologize, or over-explain to be loved. The one who truly fears Allah will treat you with respect without needing to be reminded. If someone forces you to beg for basic decency, that relationship is not kindness, it is cruelty disguised as love. When your heart is kind, Allah loves you, but that doesn't mean everyone will. Some people are drawn to kindness just to exploit it. They will drain your energy, abuse your empathy, and take advantage of your silence. Islam teaches that kindness should protect your soul, not expose it to harm. You are responsible for how you treat others, not for how they mistreat you. Real kindness comes with boundaries. The Prophet ﷺ taught mercy, but he warned against oppressors. He welcomed people with love, but he confronted injustice. He forgave individuals, but he never tolerated harm. If our role model balanced compassion with protection, then being too kind to defend yourself is not sunnah, it is a misunderstanding of the sunnah. Kindness is not submission to people, it is submission to Allah. You are kind because Allah loves kindness, not because you fear losing relationships. Your worth is not determined by how much you endure, it is determined by how much you guard the heart Allah entrusted to you. When you protect your dignity, you honor the one who gave it to you. Your kindness is a blessing, not a burden. If someone treats your kindness as weakness, it is a sign that they do not value your soul. Islam gives you permission to walk away from those who harm your peace. Sometimes the most beautiful act of kindness is protecting yourself from people who do not fear Allah in how they treat you. Kindness should elevate you spiritually, not emotionally destroy you. If your kindness makes you feel drained, anxious, guilty, unheard, or disrespected, then something is wrong. Islam teaches balance. You cannot love others properly while abandoning yourself. You cannot forgive endlessly without seeing change. You cannot give without boundaries and expect peace. True kindness does not mean letting others insult you, use you, or drain your happiness. It means wishing good for others while protecting your own heart. It means helping those in need, not enabling those who harm you. It means being gentle without neglecting your right to dignity. Islam teaches you to love others, but never more than you love your own soul. When you allow constant disrespect, you are not being kind, you are betraying yourself. And Islam does not ask you to betray yourself. The Quran says Allah does not love injustice, and that includes injustice done to yourself. Your heart was created to worship, not to be abused. Kindness that honors Allah must also honor you. Kindness that costs your dignity is not kindness, it is surrender to toxic behavior. Islam teaches justice, fairness, and self-respect. If someone abuses your mercy and refuses to change, the most righteous response may not be staying, it may be walking away. You are not weak for protecting yourself. You are wise for valuing the soul Allah gifted you. So be kind, but do it with awareness. Be merciful, but don't lose yourself. Forgive, but don't allow repeated harm. Kindness is worship only when it strengthens your heart, not when it destroys it. Islam never told you to kill your spirit to keep someone else comfortable. Keep your heart soft, your boundaries strong, and your dignity intact. That is the kindness Allah loves. Patience doesn't mean accepting abuse. Patience in Islam is a form of worship, not a punishment. Many people confuse patience with silence, thinking that Islam wants them to tolerate injustice in the name of sabr. But true sabr is not allowing someone to harm you repeatedly. It's enduring trials while striving for justice. The Prophet ﷺ said, help your brother whether he is oppressed or the oppressor. We must stop the injustice even if the injustice is happening to us. Patience is not turning yourself into a target for emotional, verbal, or physical abuse. You are not rewarded for letting someone break your spirit, insult your dignity, or harm your peace just because you want to be patient. The Quran says that Allah does not love injustice, and He does not expect you to tolerate it. Patience is strength, not surrender. Real patience is staying calm while taking the necessary steps to protect yourself. It means trusting Allah while speaking up against harm, removing yourself from toxic environments, or setting firm boundaries with those who misuse your kindness. Sabr is not obedience to people, it is obedience to Allah, who commands justice before forgiveness. Patience doesn't require you to stay in a harmful relationship. Being patient doesn't mean staying silent in a marriage where there is abuse, neglect, or betrayal. Islam allows a person to walk away from oppression. The Prophet ﷺ never told anyone to remain in a situation where their heart, faith, and safety are at risk. Your value as a believer remains even if you leave what breaks you. Patience does not mean accepting repeated disrespect. You may forgive someone once, twice, or even more, but if they refuse to change, your patience must shift from tolerating them to protecting yourself. The Prophet ﷺ forgave countless enemies, yet he also took steps to prevent harm. Islam teaches balance, mercy with caution, forgiveness with justice. True patience involves recognizing when the situation is harming your faith. If your relationship with Allah is suffering because of the pain someone is causing you, walking away is an act of worship. Allah wants your heart to be at peace, not imprisoned. Sometimes patience means letting go of what corrupts your soul and trusting that Allah will replace it with something better. Patience is not emotional slavery. It is not waiting for someone to stop hurting you when they have no intention to change. It is not continuing to sacrifice your mental health for people who don't sacrifice even a little respect for you. Allah does not want you to endure pain that strips away your dignity. Patience must be for His sake, not for the sake of toxic individuals. Sabr does not mean keeping quiet to avoid conflict. We are taught to stand against wrongdoing with our words, our actions, and if we can't, with our hearts. Remaining silent in the face of oppression is not a sign of being pious. It is a sign of allowing harm to continue. Speaking up with wisdom is part of faith, not a betrayal of it. Don't let anyone use religion to force you into suffering. Some people use patience as a weapon, convincing you to stay quiet so they can continue hurting you without accountability. This is not Islam. This is manipulation. Islam honors your dignity. Allah hears your silent pain, sees your hidden tears, and never expects you to hand your heart to someone who crushes it. Patience is protecting your heart while still being fair. You can distance yourself without hatred, you can set boundaries without revenge, and you can leave without carrying bitterness. Islam teaches that you are responsible for your integrity, not someone else's comfort. Do what pleases Allah, not what pleases people, at the expense of your soul. Patience also means knowing your worth. A believer is honored by Allah and must honor themselves. You are not weak for choosing peace over pain. You are not sinful for removing yourself from someone who consistently harms you. You are not betraying your deen by safeguarding your dignity. You are fulfilling it. Patience is a journey of healing, not tolerating harm. You don't need to prove your goodness by enduring someone's abuse. Your Lord knows your heart, your struggles, your intentions, and your sincerity. When you protect yourself, you're not abandoning patience, you're practicing it with wisdom. Real sabr sometimes means leaving with peace, trusting that Allah will take care of what you walked away from. He knows what you cannot say and sees what you cannot show. Turning away from harm is not losing faith, it is returning to Allah with your heart intact. You cannot worship properly when your spirit is crushed. Patience is choosing to heal instead of being hurt. It is protecting your dignity instead of sacrificing it. It is walking away with grace instead of fighting for someone who fights against your peace. Allah never asks you to destroy yourself to keep someone else whole. Your sabr should build you, not break you. So be patient but with wisdom. Be merciful but with self-respect. Forgive but don't stay where forgiveness is taken for granted. Allah loves patience that preserves your heart, not patience that destroys it. Protect your soul, value your dignity, and remember, Islam never demands that you bleed to prove you believe. Forgiveness is about your heart, not staying with the wrong people. Forgiveness in Islam is a purification of the heart, not a prison for the soul. Allah loves those who forgive, but He never commands you to hand your heart to people who continue to damage it. You can forgive someone and still walk away. You can let go of the bitterness without holding on to a relationship that destroys your peace. Forgiveness is meant to free you, not chain you to what Allah wants you to escape. The Prophet ﷺ forgave his enemies, yet he did not welcome every one of them into his inner circle. He showed mercy, but he also demonstrated wisdom. Islam teaches that forgiveness is an act of worship, but maintaining harmful ties is not. You can release the hurt without inviting more of it into your life. Forgiveness is about cleansing your heart, not reopening it to the same wounds. When you forgive, you purify your soul. When you stay where pain continues, you suffocate it. Forgiveness is not saying that what happened was okay. It is saying that your heart deserves to let go of what weighs it down. You do not forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because your heart deserves the peace. And sometimes peace only comes when you remove yourself from the source of harm. Islam teaches balance, mercy with strength, forgiveness with boundaries. The Quran praises those who forgive, but it also warns against allowing oneself to be mistreated. Letting go of resentment does not require you to tolerate abuse. You can forgive someone for hurting you and still protect your dignity by staying away from them. This is emotional maturity, not cruelty. Forgiveness is for your heart, not their comfort. It doesn't mean you keep answering their calls, listening to their excuses, or giving unlimited chances to someone who refuses to change. You can forgive someone sincerely and still decide that access to your life must come with responsibility and respect. Islam does not require blind loyalty, it requires wise compassion. Sometimes the hardest part of forgiveness is letting go of the hope that they will become who you imagine them to be. You forgive not because the relationship must continue, but because your heart must heal. Holding on to someone who keeps breaking you is not patience, it is self-harm. Allah does not want you to suffer under the name of sabr. Forgiveness is not forgetting what happened, it is remembering without allowing it to poison your soul. You do not erase the lesson, you erase the bitterness. Pain becomes wisdom, not revenge. Experience becomes growth, not guilt. Allah wants you to learn from every test, not to repeat it endlessly. Let go, but don't lose what the pain taught you. Forgiveness does not require reconciliation. Two hearts can part ways without hatred. Distance can exist without animosity. You can wish good for someone while removing them from your life. That is what mature faith looks like. Wishing well without sacrificing your spiritual and emotional well-being. Sometimes good intentions are safer from far away. Allah rewards forgiveness even if the other person never apologizes. Some people will never acknowledge their mistakes. Some will twist the truth, blame you, or pretend innocence. But your reward is not with them, it is with Allah. You forgive to elevate your heart, not to fix theirs. Allah sees who wronged you, even if they never admit it. Forgiveness is strength, not weakness. It takes courage to release a pain you didn't deserve. It takes strength to let go of resentment when your heart wants justice. But Allah promises that no act of forgiveness goes unnoticed. He will handle those who wronged you, and He will heal what they damaged. Your softness is not foolishness, it is faith. Walking away after forgiving someone is not betrayal, it is self-respect. Leaving someone who repeatedly harms you is not cruelty, it is protection. You honor Allah's gift when you honor your soul. He entrusted you with your heart, and He does not want you to hand it to people who trample on it carelessly. Protecting yourself is also an act of worship. Forgiveness removes the poison from your soul, not the memory from your mind. You may still remember what happened, but without bitterness. That is true healing. Healing is not erasing the past, it is transforming it. Allah allows pain to beautify your heart, not to turn it bitter. The believer grows from hardship, not sunk in it. Holding on to resentment only keeps you emotionally tied to those who hurt you. Forgiveness cuts the rope. It frees you from reliving the pain every day. You cannot move forward with bitterness in your hand. Allah wants your heart clean so it can receive newer, better blessings. You cannot climb to peace while holding on to darkness. Forgiveness is not allowing people to continue disrespecting you. Islam commands dignity. You have the right to protect your emotional, physical, and spiritual safety. People who continually harm you are not deserving of unlimited access to your life. You can forgive them and never give them the same place in your heart again, and that is righteousness. Many people stay in toxic relationships because they believe forgiveness means loyalty without boundaries. This is not Islamic. Loyalty is for those who value your heart, not those who step on it. Forgive for Allah's sake, then protect your peace for Allah's sake. Mercy and boundaries can exist together. Compassion and distance can coexist. Forgiveness does not erase accountability. You are allowed to hold people responsible for their actions. You can forgive and still seek justice. You can forgive and still demand change. You can forgive and still walk away. Allah does not ask you to pretend nothing happened, only to let go of hatred while addressing the truth with strength. Some relationships require forgiveness and farewell. Not everyone is meant to stay. Some people are lessons, some are chapters, some are mirrors of your growth. Islam teaches you to learn, not to cling. You can exit with peace, without anger, without revenge, simply honoring the fact that your soul is too valuable to keep returning to what breaks it. Forgiveness is not returning to the same battlefield. You are not required to keep fighting for the same relationship over and over again. Allah gave you a heart to protect, not sacrifice endlessly. True forgiveness allows you to leave the battlefield, wipe away your tears, and entrust what remains to Allah, who knows exactly how to compensate you. When you forgive, you take the knife out of your heart. When you stay where the knife keeps returning, you are choosing pain over peace. Allah wants to heal you, not harm you. Let forgiveness be the medicine, not the reason you remain wounded. Part of healing is understanding which wounds Allah never meant you to tolerate repeatedly. You can forgive without reconnecting. You can forgive without responding. You can forgive without giving explanations. A heart at peace doesn't need closure from people, it finds closure with Allah. The one who forgives for Allah's sake is never left empty. Allah fills what you emptied. He heals what you released, and He replaces what you sacrificed. Forgiveness does not mean being naive. The believer is compassionate but not gullible, gentle but not exploited, humble but not humiliated, wise but not heartless. You can see someone's potential yet refuse their harm. You can love someone yet protect your peace. Islam teaches emotional intelligence, mercy with wisdom. Sometimes Allah closes your heart to someone who continues to hurt you so that you can finally let go. That numbness you feel is not weakness, it is mercy. The door of your heart closes when Allah knows you are no longer meant to carry that person. Forgive them, thank Allah for the lesson, and walk away with dignity. True forgiveness turns you into a better person, not a bitter one. You don't forgive to look holy, you forgive to feel whole. You don't forgive to repair relationships, you forgive to repair your heart. And when your heart is repaired, Allah brings relationships into your life that reflect peace, not pain. Forgiveness is an act of strength that restores your worth, not something that erases it. You can forgive and still choose a life that prioritizes your well-being. You can forgive and still guard your time, your trust, your emotions, and your heart. In Islam, self-respect is not arrogance, it is obedience to Allah's command to honor your soul. If someone repeatedly harms you and expects forgiveness without change, they're not seeking mercy, they're seeking permission to continue wronging you. Do not confuse your goodness with weakness. Allah rewards your patience, but He does not approve of your oppression. Protecting yourself is part of appreciating Allah's gift. Forgiveness does not erase consequences. People are responsible for their actions. Even if you release the anger, you may free your heart from the pain, but Allah will never overlook their injustice. He is Al-Adl, the just. Your healing does not cancel His accountability. Leave their fate to Allah's wisdom. You cannot heal while staying in the same place that keeps breaking you. Forgiveness is not remaining where the wound never stops bleeding. Your heart needs space to mend. Your soul needs peace to recover. Walk away, give yourself time, and trust that Allah will replace what you lost with something pure that inspires growth. Forgiveness does not mean changing your heart into stone. It means softening it without giving people access to hurt it again. You can feel mercy, let go of grudges, and still protect your being. Your heart is a trust. Allah will ask you how you guarded it. Don't hand it to those who treat it carelessly. Your peace is worth more than staying connected to someone who brings chaos. Your spiritual growth matters more than a relationship that pulls you away from Allah. Forgive, release, and rise. Let Allah take care of what you cannot. He sees the sincerity in your heart and the pain you endured without revenge. So forgive, but do not return to what broke you. Wish them well, but protect your heart. Release resentment, but keep your distance. And remember, forgiveness is not about staying, it's about healing. Allah loves a heart that forgives others and loves itself enough to walk toward peace. Islam commands boundaries against injustice. Islam does not only teach mercy, it teaches justice. Allah commands kindness, but He never asks you to tolerate oppression. The Prophet ﷺ was the most gentle in character, yet he handled wrongdoing with firmness. He forgave hearts that changed, but he set boundaries with hearts that insisted on harming others. In Islam, patience is not allowing yourself to be trampled. It is trusting Allah while you take the steps to protect your dignity.